All right, so these first three items is what I'm going to lecture on today. And I'll talk about each one of them individually, so you don't have to write everything down right away, or it's okay if you don't. And we are moving on now to this fourth period in trends in US expansion, where it's about economic control and the use of the military abroad. And this is without necessarily expanding territorially. It's creating financial protectorates, and this is done with gunboat diplomacy, which we've touched on before. And so we talked about filibusters before. When US citizens go to land that doesn't belong to the United States, they militarily take over, and then they say, you are now free and independent, and we're going to be in charge. And so we learned how this happened in Florida and Texas, and now we're going to go into how this also happened in, there was an attempt in Mexico and then a bigger attempt in Nicaragua. William Walker. Some books about him refer to him as the last great filibusterer. And he got his first filibustering expedition was into Mexico, where he went into Mexico to the Mexican state of Sonora. That's the state just south of Arizona. And he shows up with an armed group. He tells them that he's bringing them freedom and independence, and he's gonna made himself president. And this new country is going to be called the Republic of Sonora, similar to how Texas broke away from Mexico and became its independent country. But the Mexican military immediately chased him out. This is supposed to be illegal. And so when he gets back to the US, he's arrested, but he gets arrested and then acquitted. And so he becomes an expansionist folk hero. So again, the middle of the 19th century is the height of these ideas of manifest destiny and expansionism. And so he is seen as a hero, someone helping to expand territory for US citizens. So after that incident, he then gets involved in Nicaragua in 1855. At the time, the Central American country of Nicaragua was having a civil war, liberals versus conservatives. And one of the sides welcomes his help. He goes in with an armed group. He helps them win, but then he turns around and makes himself president. So in 1855, he goes to Nicaragua. He helps one side of the Civil War win, makes himself president, legalizes slavery, and makes English an equal language to Spanish in the country of Nicaragua. And there's 11,000 people from the US who moved to Nicaragua to take advantage of this new area to be able to expand slavery. And the US immediately recognized his government as the legitimate government of the Central American country of Nicaragua. Yeah.
Which side did you go with? Like which side did he help on?
I think it was the liberals that welcomed his help. Yeah. Yeah. But there was already a very wealthy person there named Cornelius Vanderbilt that did not want the expansion of slavery to Nicaragua. Cornelius Vanderbilt, one of the richest people in the world at that time, he was already invested in Nicaragua. And the reason he was invested there is because he was in the process of building a precursor to the Panama Canal. It wasn't a canal, it was a railroad. And so there would be a port in the Caribbean Sea, a railroad to Lake Nicaragua, and then another short railroad on the other side of Lake Nicaragua getting to the Pacific Ocean. And so this was a precursor to the Panama Canal. And Cornelius Vanderbilt didn't want Walker and slavery there. So Cornelius Vanderbilt funded the combined armies of Costa Rica, El Salvador, and Honduras to kick out Walker, and succeeded in 1857. It did take a couple years to kick him out. But this time, when he got back to the United States, he was not arrested and tried. He was welcomed by the US President, President Buchanan at the time. So he tried 2 more times to do this again to Nicaragua. And then the second time he landed in Honduras instead of Nicaragua. But in that instance, the Honduran military arrested him, tried him, and executed him. And so that was the end of Walker, the last quote unquote great filibusterer.